Hello and welcome. So today we are on online lecture number 3 of mobile application development course. Today we are going to discuss button, text view, nested layouts, intent, explicit intents and implicit intents. So these are our plan of attack. So let's get started and as usual I'm going to go to the Android Studio and here I'm going to create a new project. So I'm going to click new project and here make sure you select empty views activity, click next. Here I'm going to say give it a name, a meaningful name. So alphabets learning app, alphabets learning app. So click finish. Android Studio will start creating project for you. We are going to wait for some time and you can see lots of files are generated, and once the build process is complete, so we will have a new project. So it may take some more seconds to complete the entire process. Meanwhile, as you know, Gradle is a build tool. It manages all of your files. It is a library management tool, configuration management tool, and today we are going to discuss explicit intent using alphabets learning app. So what are alphabets, and um, how can we use explicit intent to go from one activity to another activity? So still the project build project is on its process. It will take some more seconds, so we can wait for it. And then yes, I think it has it has yeah, it has created that project. So straight away let me go to resource, layouts and activity main, and I'm going to go to the split mode, and further I'm going to get some space like this. And then first of all, once again we are going to use linear layout, and I'm going to remove this text view. For this linear layout, I'm going to set some properties such as orientation will be vertical, padding of 20 dp, and gravity is center. So for that is these three attributes belongs to linear layout. And then after that, let us start creating the design for our app. I mean how our app will look. So here you will see the display, and on this side we will have some text views, linear layouts, etc. So first I'm going to create a text view. So text view having width of match parent and also height of wrap content, and okay, what will be the text? So the text will be select an alphabet to learn more. Okay, so then we will set the text size. So text size will be 20 sp, and gravity will be center. So here you can see their preview, and then the text style will make it bold, and then the other property is margin bottom. So margin bottom will be 40 dp, and let me close it. So that is our first text view. As I said earlier, here we will discuss text views, button, nested layouts, intent and explicit intents. Okay, so after completing text view, let us insert a linear layout, a nested linear layout. So this is another linear layout having width of match parent and height of wrap content. And again, orientation is horizontal, and margin bottom will be 20 dp. So that is the nested linear layout. Inside this layout, we are going to set some properties, set some views. So the first one is button, and this button has the width of 0 dp and height of wrap content, and we are going to set the layout underscore weight. The weight is 1. So you can see the button over there, and the text will be alphabet A, and layout margin end. Okay, so layout margin end is 5 dp. So we created the first button. Then here we are going to create some more buttons. So now this is button number 1. I'm having alphabet of A. So now again I'm going to create another button having width of 0 dp and height of wrap content, and weight, layout weight is 1. So you can see both these buttons have same area because weight is 1, and the text will be B, margin and 5 dp, close it. Okay, I also have to give ID to these button. So the first button will be having ID of button A, the second will be having ID of button B. So these are their IDs, and we will move on to create some more buttons, and every button will have weight of 1. So button width of 0 dp, height of wrap content, and yes, layout underscore weight will be 1, the text will be C, ID will be button underscore C. So you can see that button and margin end is 5 dp, and let us close it. So we created 3 buttons. I'm going to create 2 more buttons, and then we are going to close the nested layout. Okay, so button and having width of 0 dp and height of wrap content, give it an id of button d, so that's an id, and then layout underscore weight, again it will be 1, the text will be d, and layout margin and is 5 dp. Okay, so with that, let us move on. So we created 4 buttons. Each button is having same weight of 1, and then here I am going to create the last button having width of 0 dp, height of wrap content, and id button underscore e, and then the text will be e, okay. So yeah, the weight property, layout weight will be 1, and margin end will be 5 dp. So we created one complete row of buttons. So now we are going to create another row. We will be creating and make sure that your nested layout, these all are inside this nested layout. Okay, so yeah, linear layout, this is the nested linear layout. I'm going to collapse it. I'm also going to collapse this text view, and then this linear layout is complete. We are going to now insert another linear layout. So let me write linear layout having width of match parent and height of wrap content and orientation of horizontal, and margin bottom is a dp. Okay, this is another nested linear layout. Just as I have told you earlier, today we are going to discuss nested layouts as well. So these linear layouts are nested layout. So inside this nested layout, I'm going to create button, again having width of 0 dp, height of wrap content. Okay, so now the weight, so layout underscore weight of 1, so, and then id of button underscore f, so this will be the id, and so we have given, and one thing which is left here is the text, which is f. Okay, so we created this button F. So now uh, one thing, margin and layout, margin and, so I'm going to set it to 5 dp. So we created another button F, and we are going to continue on creating more buttons. Width of 0 dp and height of wrap content and layout underscore weight of 1, and the text will be G. And uh, yes, the ID. So let me give it an ID of button underscore G. So we have the ID, and the last thing is layout margin and, so it will be 5 dp. Okay, so we created two more button in the nested linear layout, and we are going to continue on creating more buttons. So button width of 0 dp, height of wrap content, and layout underscore weight is 1, and the text will be H. And again the ID will be button H, and layout margin and is 5 dp. So close it. So far we have created three buttons in the second row. Let us continue on creating more buttons. 0 dp is the width, height is wrap content, ID is the ID is button I, text will be I, and layout underscore weight is 1, and again layout margin and is 5 dp. Okay, so we have to create one more button. So select the button, 0 dp, wrap content is the height, width is 0 dp. So make sure that you assign dp to it, and layout underscore weight, it will be 1, and then the text will be J, and let us give it an ID of button J. Okay, so we have, and the last thing, layout margin and 5 dp. Okay, so we created the second row. So A B C D E F G H I J, and I think we are going to close the nested linear layout here. So far you can see we have two linear layouts for these two rows, and we are going to continue on making more rows. So I'm going to insert another linear layout. So again, the width is match parent, height is wrap content, and the orientation will be horizontal. And then uh, yes, the orientation is horizontal. So let me see what were the specs for this one. Margin bottom. Okay, so let me also apply margin bottom to 8 dp. Okay, so again we are going to insert buttons. So button width of 0 dp, height of wrap content, and then the text is k, and id is button underscore k. Yes, layout underscore weight will be 1, and margin and is 5 dp. Okay, so that is we created the first button. In the third row we are going to move on creating more buttons. So height, weight, and id, button k, no, button l, and yes, the text will be l, and layout weight will be 1. So you can see those two buttons, and then we have margin and 5 dp. So we created these two more buttons. Button width of 0 dp, height of wrap content, and weight of 1. id will be button m. So the text will be the letter M. And lastly, margin n will be 5 dp. Okay, so let us create more buttons. So simply I'm going to copy this button and paste it here, and I'm going to do some changes. So this is button N, the text will be N, the rest is fine. and then MNO, button O, text O. Again, the rest is fine. So we completed the 3 rows, and this is the linear layout, nested linear layout, in which we are having these buttons. So I'm going to collapse this linear layout, bring it over here, and now we are going to insert another linear layout, uh, width of match parent, height of wrap content, orientation is horizontal, and margin bottom will be, let's say, 8 dp, or we can also increase it like 10 dp. And inside this linear layout we are going to create more buttons. So after O we have P and the letter P. So I'm going to copy this button area, copy it, and paste it here. So after P, Q, so button Q, paste it here again. After Q we have R, so button R. So you can see we are having a very decent layout over here. And then we have S, button S, and again after S we have T, so button T. So far we reached to 4 rows. So I'm going to close this linear layout as well, and we are going to insert another linear layout having width of match parent, height of wrap content, orientation horizontal, margin bottom of 10 dp. Okay, inside here after T we have U, and you can straight away see that U is also inserted. Okay, I'm going to just paste the code because we are repeating the same code. So U, and then we have V, UV, and then W, X, and Y is left. So also insert Y, and Y, and then for the last one we are left with one more letter, that is Z. I'm going to create another linear layout having width of match parent and height of wrap content, and orientation of horizontal. Margin bottom will be 10 dp, and here we are going to have one button that will be called Z. So button Z, it has weight of 1. So far so good. We have created a complete layout. So let me minimize it and let me revise what we have done so far. So far we have discussed nested linear layouts. So layouts can also be nested. So here you can see we have a linear layout having nested linear layout. So one linear layout inside another linear layout. So let me open this linear layout. In this linear layout we have 4 buttons, each having weight of 1 and width of 0, which means that each will be given equal size. And then we set some more properties, like what will be the ID, the width, the height, and the weight, and the text. So and margin, and these are some, I think, 6 properties that are similar in the whole, you can say, throughout the whole buttons. So far we have created the design of this button. In the next lecture we are going to uh, add code to this design, like when you click on a, what will happen. So I'll see you in the next lecture. Till then, Allah Hafiz.